Hey everyone, this is Michael with the Gemini reading for February, whether you're a Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Cross-Watcher. I hope this video finds you all well. I do apologize that it's coming out just a little bit late. I have had a hard time with my technology and also communicating. I feel like being ruled by Mercury yourself, a lot of you are going to understand what I'm talking about. Ever since yesterday, when Mercury entered Pisces, I feel like I'm trying to talk underwater. All of my words are having such a hard time coming out of my mouth, so I apologize if I'm just sort of blurting things out or rambly throughout this video. I'm doing the best I can. We're both ruled by Mercury. I'm a Virgo myself. We're gonna get into that more in the reading though. Before we actually dive in, I do just have a few quick announcements to make. Firstly, I am currently not offering my services, so if you are looking for a personal reading or Reiki session from me, those will be back online towards the middle of February. I don't have a specific date right now, but I do have all of my links in the description box, as well as links for my social media, where I will be posting when everything is back online. So if you want to stay in the loop, as well as stay informed of whenever I'm doing giveaways or discounts, I would definitely follow me on my social media. I've honestly just had a pretty challenging start to 2020. I know a lot of people have. We had some pretty major conjunctions and an eclipse happened last month, and it brought up a lot for the sake of integration and healing, kind of a light worker flu I was having for a hot minute there. And I also had some issues with my technology. So I am taking some time off from my services just to catch up with personal readings and get back on my feet. I do feel like as part of these changes that were coming to the surface though, I am actually going to be making some adjustments to my content as well. I actually plan on expanding things and implementing new content that I've been planning on doing since I've started doing YouTube, and I just haven't taken the time or had the chance to really branch out. But as my channel has been growing and I've also been getting more and more personal clients, I'm really learning I need to strike a balance, and that's kind of what I've been doing. But I do get this push that I am going into the next phase of this work, whatever it is. So I hope that's exciting for all of you. I know it's exciting for me. It gives me a lot of energy to think about. So yeah, and then one last thing, I am going to be foregoing the astrological forecast at the start of the reading. I have been doing that for the past few months now. I know a lot of people enjoy it, but it's just made the videos very, very long, and I know a lot of people have also complained about it. So I know I can't make both camps happy. I'm just trying to figure out what works best for the readings. I feel like both the astrology and the tarot were a bit redundant, to be honest, because they were so aligned. I felt like I was repeating myself in the beginning and then in the card reading. So it was just, I feel like I can kind of cut down quite a bit, and I'm going to integrate these transits and aspects into the reading itself. I do still have the astrological forecast blog for those of you who want an overview of the month, as well as all the dates for the specific aspects and transits that are going to be going on. So yeah, I think that's personally very helpful. I actually refer to my own blog throughout the month just to figure out what's going on. So I hope you all find it helpful as well. Whew, this is going to be a long video, isn't it? Okay, how about we get started here? I am going to start shuffling for you now, Gemini. I'm just going to take a moment to clear. I actually invite all of you to do that as well. Maybe even pause the video. I know that sounds weird, but this is a collective reading, meaning I am reading the energy you're putting into watching it. So I will be picking up on some of you as well. As I'm shuffling here, I just want you to remember that this is a general reading, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. It is up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for someone else. You are more than welcome to switch roles to fit the situation if there are other parties who come up in this reading. And what else? Don't get too caught up on the gender or zodiac information behind the cards, and even with the astrology that I'll be utilizing, it may or may not resonate for all of you. It really just depends on what placements you're watching for. If I don't seem to pick up on your energy in this video, that's totally fine. Nothing went wrong. I always set the intention for these videos to reach the people who need to hear them the most. I do recommend looking at your moon, rising, and Venus sign and seeing if there's anything for you there, or if you just want greater clarity. If you don't know what your other placements are, I actually do have a natal chart calculator in the description box down below that should be able to help you out. Now, we do have some cards for you on the table. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords and the Two of Cups coming out together. The Five of Swords and the Three of Swords coming out together. And the Knight of Swords in reverse with the Page of Pentacles. This is your energy, this Knight of Swords, I think. Wow. We're starting off the month in kind of a sour note. I'm gonna be real, Gemini, because the group I'm picking up on, there's this element of deception. I am getting a predominant love reading here, and I think some of you found out about someone you care about, or I'm sorry, you found out what someone you care about, what they were doing behind your back. And the start of this month, astrologically, with Venus in Pisces and Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn sextiling each other, it is really making us look at the lessons we've been learning relative to love. Some of you, I feel like this is a prolonged situation. You know there's been deception, you know things haven't been very clear or good in a connection for a while. Someone's gone behind your back and they've done it multiple times. I feel like they're doing it again. Either they've already done it in January, they might be doing it at the start of February for some of you. But I actually see the sense of walking away and some heartache here because you're realizing there's just no working with this energy, working with this situation. This may not be love for all of you, but again, it does feel like for the most of you, I gotta be honest, this feels very much like a romantic relationship. It could be a decision that you've tried making. Maybe you keep giving someone in your life second chances, and they keep, you know, backstabbing you, they keep going against you, they keep going against their promise, and at this point, you've been betrayed so many times where you just can't do this anymore. You're really reflecting a lot with this Page of Pentacles. Actually, looking at this page, holding this pentacle, it's almost like looking into a mirror. And this Knight of Swords in reverse, this is your own energy, this Knight of Swords. It could also be other air signs. It could be another Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And for some of you, if this was a prolonged situation with this individual, where they've kept hurting you, they've kept going behind your back, they've kept doing something wrong that they said they weren't going to do, or they said they were going to change and they just didn't. You're looking a lot at yourself at this point. And kind of taking a hard look of, why did I keep giving this person these chances? Maybe you didn't really think a lot about it. That is kind of the Knight of Swords energy, charging into things. And as we are encroaching upon this Mercury retrograde, this is going to affect your life pretty significantly. As I was talking about earlier, we're both ruled by Mercury. Virgo and Geminis were ruled by Mercury, and whatever Mercury is doing has a very profound impact on our own lives. Especially if you are a Gemini, that your first house ruler would be Mercury. And going retrograde in Pisces it's really making you look at things you may not want to look at, because Pisces represents the subconscious. And for you specifically, it's also your midheaven, your destiny, your career, the way you show up in the world. So for some of you, maybe this is a job situation, maybe this is a work situation, and you're doing business with someone and they keep screwing you over. I could actually see that because with the planetary energies in Capricorn right now, that is your 8th house, which is joint finances, joint power. If you have a business partner or even a romantic partner that you have some financial involvement with, there's a lot of emphasis on those relationships, on those connections right now. Let's see what the animal wisdom is. Diving straight into the heart of things for this reading. We didn't waste any time, huh? Snake. Ordinarily, this isn't a negative card, because I think snake kind of gets a bad rap. In this deck, snake usually represents spiritual awakening. It represents growth, shedding, a new opportunity. Something that might slip away pretty quickly if you don't catch it. But in this specific connotation, I am actually feeling like someone is being deceptive. Someone's being a little bit of a snake. Someone's playing mind games on you too. And maybe that's why you keep coming back into the situation. Or maybe you're just deceiving yourself. But you're really distancing yourself, at least in the first half of this month, from this situation. You're really looking at this because there's been a lot of pain. There's been a lot of deception. You're not sure what to believe. You're really thinking about it, and you're thinking about your own future as well, your own life. And you don't want to be reckless going into something else, because I'm almost picking up on this tendency to do that. To be honest with this group, that's just what I'm picking up. And you don't want to sabotage in that way again. You don't want to rush into something else. You don't want to rush into another chapter or a new relationship or anything like that. And it's always good to be a little more cautious with a Mercury retrograde. We can't put our lives on pause all the time, but we are in that pre-shadow. Things are slowing down. Things are becoming clear. It's kind of setting the stage for the Mercury retrograde we're going to be in. And we do have Venus entering Aries, which is your 11th house, your house of support, your house of tribe. You might be looking for the people you can count on, the people you can trust. That's happening right near that Leo full moon on the 9th. So there's a lot of fire, a lot of passionate emotions might be coming up. But for you specifically, Gemini, I actually feel like you're kind of pulling away from a situation. And be very careful if someone is trying to make you agree to do something. With that 7 of Swords and the 2 of Cups. If someone's trying to make you sign something, read the fine print. Or really know what you're walking into before you agree to something. Yeah, really look at things closely. Wow. Let's see where all of this is going. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Okay, I don't want to freak anyone out. Okay, I'm going to say what we have first. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Cups. The Sun in reverse with the Seven of Cups and Strength. All coming out together. And the Eight of Pentacles. What makes me so nervous about this energy, Gemini, I have to be honest, I feel like some of you are looking at the situation, looking at this person who betrayed you, especially if they're a Leo, with the Sun and the Strength card here. Could also be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, maybe even a Cancer, Leo cusp, or someone who has a lot of those energies. I am specifically picking up on that. Doesn't have to be. I feel like you are refusing to see something in the second half of February. During this Mercury retrograde, it's very easy to slip into denial, especially in the sign of Pisces. And I see some of you sticking around trying to work on things still with this Strength card. You're really trying to figure out what's real in this situation. Some of you are letting this go with this Eight of Swords and this Queen of Cups. Actually, some of you are trying to let this go, but there's this emotional manipulation that's going on with this person. Again, I was picking up mind games. Queen of Cups is the master of mind games. She's very intuitive. She can be very nurturing, very sensitive in her good, positive energy and her positive expression. But with this sort of situation, you could be dealing with someone who is good at reading you and manipulates you in very subtle ways, whether they even realize it or not. They know how to pull your strings. And maybe that's why you're kind of in this denial. You're like, well, I don't think this person is doing this on purpose. It doesn't matter if they're doing it on purpose. But I still see you working on something. Some of you are just working on something for yourself. Some of you are kind of using work as an escape or giving yourself some time to think about things. Work is kind of a reprieve for some of you right now. You're working on something for the future. I am seeing that. But for you to get out of this Eight of Swords energy, for you to get out of this stuck energy, you really have to be very honest with your emotions. You have to feel the things you have been avoiding feeling. You have not wanted to feel this heartache. You have not wanted to feel this betrayal. You have not wanted to feel this disappointment. You have done everything you have humanly been able to possibly do to avoid feeling a certain way. And some of you are going to continue to try and do this. And that's how we get the tower moment. That's how we get that crumbling when our lives feel like they're falling apart. You really need to sit with your emotions. And not just what you want, okay? Because I really feel like there's a lot of chords to this individual. Whether it's a romantic person, whether it's a business partner, or a friend, a family member, doesn't matter. If this is resonating for some person in your life, if you have just had this situation where this person has burned you again and again, gone behind your back, gone against their word, they're just gonna keep doing it. But they're making it seem like that's not what's happening here with this Queen of Cups energy. And you're kind of left doing all the work in this connection. Where is this going? I don't even really need a card. Where is this going? I feel like there's another message that's trying to come through. Because we know if we stay in this energy, the universe will not allow you to stay in denial forever. And even if you're kind of being tricked, there's going to be a reveal, and it's going to be pretty painful. Again, be very cautious walking into new arrangements, new deals, new contracts. You might not be seeing something clearly, and it might be a while. It might not even be until Leo season where this happens. We're talking all the way out into the end of July to August. If you're looking at signing like a 6-month contract or something like that, be very careful. Don't rush into that. The Emperor in reverse. So we do have some Aries energy on the table now too. Some of you really are just not claiming your power in this situation. You're trying to make things work. You're trying to fix this other person when really you need to be doing something for yourself. And this individual feels a little narcissistic. They feel very self-focused, self-centered, self-serving. And I see you putting in all this work with this 8 of Pentacles. And you're being controlled, and you might even be letting that happen. Wow. Okay. What is the animal wisdom here? Well, that's very loud. Okay. We have panther and we have swan. You really need to be reflecting. You need to take some solo time. You really, really do. And I think writing is especially helpful because the swan is associated with Saraswati, the goddess of language, of poetry specifically. But any written form can be helpful, maybe just to get your thoughts down. And again, taking time for yourself, reflecting. Panther, shadow work. And this is kind of this tower energy I'm talking about as well. Panther can seem like a malevolent force in our lives because it can jump in and pounce on something and just bring out total destruction. If we're being honest with ourselves, Panther energy isn't really that unexpected. Panther's been watching us from the shadows. It's kind of this mama bear energy. She actually wants you to shine, to be your best, brightest, most powerful version of yourself. And she's watching the ways you're sabotaging. And it's almost like this tough love, Kali energy. She's not going to let you do this forever. She's going to step in and clear out whatever is not working. You cannot outrun your shadow in this situation. And I want to be really clear. Again, general reading, not going to apply for everyone. Okay, so don't freak out. If this isn't a situation that you've been in for a while, this isn't your reading. I'm talking to people who are going through this really tumultuous relationship, whether it's a friendship or romance, whatever. If this is a romantic connection and you feel like this person is your twin flame, this is a karmic relationship. That's coming in pretty strongly. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say I know who your twin flame is, you're wrong. I really don't feel like I have the authority to do that. But some of you are using this person's my twin flame, and using that to justify some really toxic patterns that are just not serving you. Regardless of what this person is, if that's your justification for staying with someone, that is not what a twin flame relationship is supposed to be about. That is a form of enabling. If you don't stand your ground. I think a lot of time with these spiritual relationships, people will hold on to them because we have this big grandiose story about this spiritual connection that we have, and oh, I just have to work on it. It's just me facing myself. I have to persevere. Let go of that immediately. I know this is harsh and feels very hard, but it's the message that some of you need to hear. Even if this person isn't in your life, maybe they're coming back during this Mercury retrograde, or you're just thinking about them a lot. Whatever the situation is, you are not serving your own spiritual growth or your twin flame spiritual growth if you're just enabling and trying to cater to them all the time. Part of that growth, part of your soul contract with any relationship is growth. And you aren't going to be fulfilling that if you don't stand right by yourself too. And I'm not saying this as an attack. I know I'm being very direct with you right now. I know my energy feels like it's coming at you, but I don't want you to hurt yourself again, Gemini. What this person is doing is wrong. It's not your job to fix them. If you think you're going to be able to fix them by staying with them, you're enabling them. And you don't deserve that. Neither of you should be stuck in a situation like this, but especially you, Gemini. I don't like this. I do not like this energy. What is the advice for my Geminis? What can they be focusing on right now? I'm sorry, this came out a little heavy. Knight of Cups in the World. I feel like when you complete the cycle, there is love for you still. Both of these actually came out perfectly sideways, so it's like you're afraid to end this cycle, to go on to the next thing, to open yourself up to the world again. Some of you have used this relationship because you're actually afraid of the world. You've used this friendship, this romance, to not meet other people, or it's isolated you from other people. And when you open up to the world, there's a lot of healing. Wow. I'm not getting any more messages for you right now, Gemini. I hope this was helpful. I'm sure it's not what most of you wanted to hear, but it came in very strong, and I feel like some of you just have not been wanting to acknowledge this. Really listen to your own intuition, listen to your heart. If this upset you, I really want you to consider and reflect on why. What parts of you are feeling triggered right now. And it's not everyone's reading, so I want to disclaim that again, but sit with this. Really consider how there may be this person in your life where you feel like you can fix them. I am sending you lots of healing your way, lots of good energy. I hope things are looking up for you towards the end of this month as you're opening yourself up to the people around you who actually want to support you. There is love and support around you. I hope you allow yourself to feel that or reach for that. I do have all of my links in the description box down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Gemini.